It's warm outside, but still plant herbs. I love herbs, and I love herbs not because I cook, I can promise you that, but I just love what they add to the garden with fragrance and texture, and above all, sturdiness. And I cannot think of one sturdier plant than Mexican Mint Marigold. Every time the wind blows, you brush against it, you get this wonderful anise fragrance. It's to die for. It blooms twice a year, a yellow daisy-type flower. Spring and fall, butterflies love it, hummingbirds love it. Usable in the kitchen, but above all, beautiful in the garden. And another keeper is bell pepper basil. And, people walk by this in the herb house. This little guy has come back for us for years. Yes, years in the garden. It's gone through Harvey. It went through the big event about 3 years ago, and it still comes back robustly. It's beautiful. And again, you get this wonderful bell pepper basil blend fragrance. So, as I said, I use them as landscape plants, but I got a friend over here that can give you some really good, easy tips. Because when you get them in the garden, you'll have more than you know what to do with. So, tell me something I can do with this.
All right. So, Mexican Mint Marigold, what we're going to do today is we're going to infuse some vinegar with the Mexican Mint Marigold. Because of that anise flavor, really goes really well with dressings. You can use it in other recipes where you just need to brighten it up with a little bit.
Okay.
So easy to do. So what we'll do is we'll take our clean glass jar and we'll pour some vinegar into our jar. Now what we also need to do is go out into the garden, and we want to get 4 to 6 little sprigs. And I like to do about 6 inches long, and I want as many leaves as possible. And I want to kind of crush it up a little bit.
You're going to bruise it. I smell it.
Yes, you can smell it right off.
And this doesn't harm the plant at all. It just encourages new growth. So don't be shy with your pruning.
So we're going to get 4 to 6 sprigs in here. And again, we want to release as many of these oils as possible so that they'll kind of take to infusion a lot better. Okay. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just pour this vinegar right over the top of those. All right. And I like using mason jars because they look pretty and they have and then you want to have something, a weight. And I'll just use another lid. And then we'll put the top on, put this in a cool, dark spot for 3 to 4 days. And then bring it out, and then we'll be able to use it.
That fast?
That fast.
Wow.
Vinegar is super easy.
So once we make it, it's ready in 3 to 4 days, but how long will it keep in the pantry?
Because it's vinegar, it'll last for a month.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the one thing that I do want to tell you, make sure that you don't have any leaves above the liquid level, because what'll happen is it'll start discoloring it.
Sure. Does this color the vinegar?
It will stay about this color.
Okay.
But it will infuse it and you'll smell that flavor.
Okay.
What we'll do after those 3 to 4 days is we'll put them into a nice decanter.
Gotcha.
Something that's pretty to put on the table so that you can show that off.
Well,
and we'll put a couple of fresh sprigs in there just to make it look pretty.
Good gift idea.
Yep. All right.
Right from the garden.
So vinegar is done. So let me see that bell pepper basil.
All right.
The basil. So with this one, we're going to do some vodka.
Okay.
And so again, we're going to do 4 to 6 sprigs of the bell pepper basil. And this has the same essential oil as bell peppers, the green bell peppers. So this vodka is going to be really great in, say, Bloody Mary or any other recipe that, you might like with a little, like Cajun cooking. You're always looking to add more flavor. So 4 to 6 sprigs, about, 4, 6 inches long. Bruise those up.
This is making me hungry.
You can smell that bell pepper. I'll do one more. And again,
same process.
3 to 4 days in a cool, dark spot. Try not to waste it out, but
Yeah, don't waste that.
all righty. So, and then we'll keep our bottle because we'll reuse that bottle again. We'll cover that with a weight, making sure that there's no plant above the liquid. And then you can keep this in your freezer. I like to keep my vodka in the freezer because it has a low boiling point and it will evaporate.
So let me ask you a question. So we did this with the bell pepper basil. So if we wanted, say, limoncello, or we wanted to make a spicier blend. So is this same process applied to using, so peppers?
Yeah.
Like you could put habanero
or chipotles. Those are going to discolor a little bit the vodka, but you can mix and match. So you could put, say the pepper,
right,
and or a little bit of lemon verbena, and get that
would be good.
Yeah, and then that pepper. So that would be really good with
Well, so could I put pepper in with the bell pepper basil?
Yeah.
So you had it all in one.
Exactly.
So the vodka, because you said we can put it in the freezer,
Right.
Lasts indefinitely. But you do strain out the foliage before you put it after it's ready. And how long does that need to sit?
That needs to sit at least another 3 to 4 days. But the longer it sits in there, like say if you're using peppers,
right,
the hotter it gets.
So do you put it in the freezer prior to it being ready?
You put it in the freezer as soon as I could go from here to the freezer. The vodka is not going to freeze and it'll last indefinitely.
Okay, so you don't have to strain it.
You don't have to strain it, but I would. It's not going to last that long. Okay. You're going to drink it once you like it.
You think?
Yep. You'll find a drink that you like.
I get you.
Yep.
So this is super easy way to use not only basils and the Mexican Mint Marigold. I guess you could use any herb this way.
And another thing, for hot temperatures, you can do water and infuse with, like, say, lemon verbena or, the pineapple sage.
And basil water is so refreshing in the summertime.
Right. Exactly. So, and it's not limited to just water, but any liquid. So let's say you've got chicken stock that you're going to put into a recipe.
Right.
Infuse more flavor. And so you can put those fresh herbs, like for Thanksgiving, that you're going to pour over your stuffing mix.
Yeah, yeah.
Infuse it with the sage.
So you would strain the stock.
Right.
Put your sage in, and then let it sit in the fridge for 3 or 4 days before you use it.
And so that's easy to do.
Well, when I'm outside, I always have a bottle of water in my pocket. I often walk in the herb house and just get a few mint leaves and drop it in my bottle of water.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
And so same thing can be done with cream. Let's say we're going to make some ice cream. And we want some mint ice cream. Well, infuse that cream with the mint, strain it. Then you can use that mint in your recipe.
And again, I know I keep saying this, but just so it's clear, we're gonna put our whichever herb or pepper we use into our liquid.
Right.
Put a weight on it so no foliage appears above the fluid. Right. Seal it. Put it in a case of cream, in the fridge. Everything else in the pantry.
In the pantry, cool, dark.
3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
Strain out the foliage, and then the alcohol can go into the freezer.
Yep.
The vinegar can stay in the pantry, or you could refrigerate it.
Yeah, use them as you would in any recipe.
So super simple.
Super easy.
Love it.
Just another reason to use herbs in your plantings.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.